The spring sports season is well past the halfway point. Today we talk about the varsity sports of your Princeton Vikings with AD Joe Roberts. Coach, how are we doing this morning?
Rob, it's great to be back. Great to see you today. How you been?
Good. May's almost here.
May is almost here. April showers, spring, May flowers.
We
And
better have a
so,
lot of flowers this year.
unless you're up in my front yard that is loaded with dandelions, they
Ooh,
are 9 feet tall.
nice.
Yeah. So we do not treat the grass. We love the bees. Let the bees come and take all the clover they want. So
Pollinate and get after it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, let's talk about Vikings. Let's start. Let's start at the diamond, the larger diamond first. Let's go baseball. Uh,
Yeah.
as let's see, as of right now, they've gotten some games in. It's been a challenging spring. We've had worse, but we've had a challenging spring, and looks like the team's on a little bit of a roll. They host West tonight. West, I travel to West on Wednesday. Senior night on Thursday against the Mustangs,
Yep.
and then start into Oak Hill's GMC play on Friday. So busy week for baseball. Weather looks like it's going to be okay, other than tomorrow. But this weekend looks like it's going to be beauty.
Yeah, we're going to have a beautiful week. Last week was a great week. I was in Louisville, Kentucky on Friday. I have no idea how the Princeton Viking baseball team played a game Friday night at Fairfield, but they did and got a great win. Took the sweep against Fairfield, and that really helped put us a good position in the league. And then turned around Saturday, and all the rain we got, our fields were not going to be playable, but they were able to go to Roger Bacon and play down there at Ross Park and got that win
That must
Saturday.
be
So they
must
had
be
a
a good
great
turf.
yeah, they've got a really good synthetic surface down there, and they were able to get that in. So
Oh, great.
um, and that was really good to be able to hit that weekend 2-0, coming off a really strong week, really strong wins, unbelievable games that the kids have been playing. Coach McGowan's really has the kids playing well.
Awesome.
Tonight's going to be a tough game. I
Yeah.
mean, it is. It's a staple game for us in the conference. We've got to come out aggressive and ready to play. I know the kids are going to have some really good momentum. They just keep playing baseball. And then, like you said, Wednesday we'll head over to West. We get a nice day. The rain's coming on a day where we're not going to have a game, and that'll be nice, and try to get it dried back up and ready to go. And then we'll have senior night Thursday night, and get ready for we're just under I guess 14 days of full regular season baseball. The tournament draw will be a week from this Sunday. And so right now we're sitting, not only are we sitting to look at that top 3, top 4 spot in the conference, but you're also looking for that top 6 area in seed for the district. So, I think that we're in a really good spot that we can steal a couple games there and maybe grab us a district title. So just depends on where we fall, and depends on our rotation on what day we play. So things are really looking good for Viking baseball. Super excited about it.
Yeah, it's great. So this is an important week.
Very important, very important. And we've got and I forget which day. I can't remember if it's today or tomorrow. But we've got a Viking alum, Vince Harrison's going to come out and speak to the kids, manager of the Dayton Dragons, and just he had the team up. I want to say it was last year or last season, and they got to experience the Dragons, and they got to be on the field, and Vince gave them a tour of the facility. And we've got kids that want to play baseball beyond high school, and we've got Wyatt Shaw, who's already committed, heading to Valparaiso to play baseball beyond high school. And Vince is a great, and his brother Josh too. I mean, you can't ask for two better Vikings to represent Viking baseball and Viking athletics, to talk a little bit about what it means to play beyond here, but also what it means to represent Princeton.
Yeah, it's great. Good luck to them, and take advantage of that resource with the Harrisons, because they're
Yep,
great people. I
absolutely.
got to work with them back when I was still coaching, and they do a great job. Just a great resource. So good luck to baseball. A very important week this week. Let's go to the
Absolutely.
smaller diamond. Let's go to softball. Got the Vikings softball classic coming up this weekend. It looks like they're going to have beautiful weather for that. But before that, let's see. We got West at West tonight. Tuesday, Oak Hills looks like that's a makeup from a rain out. Wednesday,
Yeah.
Hamilton. Thursday, Coleraine. So a lot of GMC play this week before they host the Lady Vikes softball classic.
Yeah, a lot of great GMC play. Just like baseball, this coming Thursday, we'll have senior night for softball and baseball this Thursday here at Viking Ballpark. We are not going to have the Viking Softball Classic this year.
Oh,
May
okay.
3rd, May 3rd is also the Princeton Prom. And so we are going to, and with Coach White being in his first year, he and I talked a lot about that last week. With all the weather, been hard to get some commitments from teams because they're trying to make up league games. They're trying to reschedule common opponents and what have you. And I told him, I said, we're just going to pause on the Viking Softball Classic. He is looking for an opponent to play Saturday,
Okay.
just simply because we need to get a game, which is great. I told him, let's do it. But you're going to have a lot of hair and nail appointments and what
Make
have
that
you
a
on
10
Saturday.
a.m.
And
start. 10 a.m. start
yeah,
Saturday.
yeah, 9 a.m. I think if we can. So but I can't say this enough about Princeton softball and the direction that it's going right now, and how hard the kids play, and their youth is an advantage and it's a disadvantage right now. But man, alive, he has got them playing really good softball. It's always seems like in the last 2 weeks in the games I've watched, comes down to an inning and a half, if you will, and you just give up one or two errors in that inning and a half, and it gets away from you. But they're going to close that gap, and I'm really super excited about what Viking softball is going to do.
Are you pleased with the numbers with the softball program currently, Joe?
Yeah, I am. And I think we all are. I think the displeasure is the fact that we don't have three teams, but that's a trend right now. You cannot. There's a good and a bad to everything that we talk about when we look at participation in numbers, because kids want to play.
Yes.
And you only have so many games and you only have so many innings that you can get players in. And so, if we were able to establish that third team, that freshman team, where kids are getting a lot of time, the trend though right now is there's not a lot of freshman teams or JVB teams, if that's what people want to call them now. There's just not a lot out there. And so it wouldn't help if we were able to start a third program and only play 5 games. That's not going to get you what you need, because
Sure.
they need to be out there playing other teams. Yeah, they can get a lot of practice in, they can do that, but they want to play games. And
Right.
so I think Coach White's done a very good job of managing the bench size and making sure kids get opportunities to play. And you know this about softball. If a pitcher can throw every game, every inning, doesn't ever have to come out. And so if you've got a strong pitcher or a pitcher that's getting ready to be pretty developed, you're not going to pull them from the game,
Right.
because you're trying to get them as many innings as they can get, as many throws as they can get. So development of pitching has to come at that secondary level a lot of times. So you got to try to find that opportunity. So he's done a very good job of managing the bench and trying to get kids swings at the plate, but trying to get them opportunities out in the field as well. Same for a catcher. I know it wears on them, but if you've got a strong catcher, you're not just gonna rotate them through. You want to develop that next strong catcher.
Right. Sure. Got it. No, that's good. Well, good luck to the girls, and busy week for them. Hope they have great success, and we'll touch base next week on their latest. Let's go to girls lacrosse. I know it's a new and young program at Princeton. They're competing, and it looks like they're playing hard. In a busy week this week with 3 GMC matches, all on the road at Sycamore, at Oak Hills, and at Mason. And I guess all of
Yeah.
them are on the road because the stadium's down right now, correct?
Right. Stadium's down. They're all on the road. Coach Short just continues. I do have to laugh. I mean, it just seems like it's springtime, and it just is. We were traveling to Miamisburg last week. We're 10 miles away. Blow a flat tire on the bus.
Oh, geez.
Had to wait for a bus to get there so we could get the kids on, but they persevered and they were able to get the match in just a little bit later than they anticipated. May 7th, we'll celebrate those seniors. I believe that match is at Kettering Altar. And just really, continue to enjoy watching what our lacrosse program is going to do. I think I'm going to try to head to Sycamore this week and catch their
Nice.
match with Sycamore, and just see how they're out there competing against teams that have been doing it for a little bit. And, lacrosse is one of those sports that you've got to start it early. You can't just pick up the stick and think you're going to instantly be successful. You got to start that early in your career. And I think that, we've got a really strong group of juniors right now. We've got a good group of seniors that have been with Coach since he had this program going from the beginning. And so I think that'll really help us. What we've got to find right now is that next wave. We've got to find some more freshmen. We got to find a couple extra sophomores to get in and start filling some key essential positions as these older kids rotate through. And then, of course, I think he's got to spend time at that 7th and 8th grade level to see if there's really some interest in the sport.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Good luck. Good luck to the girls there. Let's
Yep.
go to the hard court. Switch over to boys tennis. I think we're getting close to next weekend is GMC, so things are moving right along. We've got let's see, we've got Lakota East on Tuesday at home, Talawanda for Senior Day on Wednesday, and then travel up to Hamilton on Thursday, and then the coaches' tourney on Saturday, maybe with
Yeah.
with prom. So a busy week for tennis.
Well, and I'll tell you, you know how sometimes you just never can read the tone of an email. So, and I love Coach Mulholland. I think he is just a true leader and a champion of students. But sometimes every time I read an email from him, I feel like he's Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh because you can't read the tone. And all I get from him all last week, canceled again, going to try to play. So, I laugh at it every time because it was, like you were saying, the weather. So we rescheduled Dakota West for this coming Friday as well.
Okay.
And so we've got a full slate of tennis this week. We've got a full slate of boys tennis this week. We are going to have the Coaches Classic. We are a host site Saturday morning. We're going to start at 8 a.m.
Nice.
And of course, yes, I'm going to go ahaid and say it. Doesn't take as long for boys to get ready as it does the girls. Yes. They'll probably show up in their tennis uniforms, ready for pictures. But Coach has done a great job. Really looking forward to Tuesday, Senior Day, and recognizing our seniors. It is, every time we talk every week, it is so amazing to me that we're done. But we really are at the end. I mean, I feel like it's August again, and we're just now starting. But this year, and it's just amazing that it just goes by so fast. So we're looking forward to seeing what they do. They'll have their sectional seed meeting on Sunday as well, along with softball. We are a host site here for sectionals for a portion of it. Traditionally, he most likely will head over and play at Mason, but I think he has that option to play here if he wants, or maybe he doesn't. I can't remember if the sectional allows him to do that. But just a great job by our Vikings, and more importantly, on the side of that, great job by Coach Andrew McCauley, our JV coach, making sure our kids are getting matches, and our JV kids have been getting matches. So. It's been up and down and across the board for them, but you know what? They're getting matches, and that's important. And this is a big week for us as we head into the conference tournament next week.
Perfect. Yeah, good luck to them, and lots of good tennis weather this week. Other than tomorrow, they'll get a lot in. So good luck to them. Let's go to track and field. Let's talk the latest with track and field for the Vikings.
Yeah, just simply Coach Braddix and Coach Curtis Smith on the boys' side. I mean, they're in fine tuning. And, every day we got a new one. We've got this group going to Loveland, and this group going to Springfield, and this group heading to the University of Tennessee, and this group heading to Louisville, or this past weekend, they were down in Tate's Creek, down just outside of Lexington, Kentucky, running in a pretty big invite there.
Right.
And we're in that stage right now where it's go time. And so the weather, like you said, has starting to reach that point. Last week was really rough to get out there and practice, but they got out there and practice. They battled the weather. But now it's go time. I mean, we're coming down to that stretch where we're hitting the conference meet, which will be very, very critical for us. That will take us right into districts. And we'll run at Mason for GMCs. We'll run at Mason for the district. And we're going to see where we fall there. And then it'll take us right to the region that'll lead us right back to Jesse Owens in Columbus. And, it's crazy to imagine how track and field can work. And you can finish in the top 4 in your league. You can finish the top 3 in the district. you can turn around and finish in the top two in the region, and next thing you know, you're state champions or state placers. So it's great to watch, and it's going to be great theater to see it. And we've got some kids that are going to really make a lot of noise here in the postseason. So excited for what they're about to do.
I was up at OSU campus Wednesday of this past week, and it was right next to Jesse Owens Stadium. What an impressive facility that
Yeah,
is! Holy cow!
yeah.
Wow.
It's well, Rob, it's the Ohio State University, and so I guess they would expect nothing less. Of course, I was in like you, I was in Columbus Saturday and Sunday, and driving on 315 Saturday morning, and the lights are on in the stadium. And I'm wondering, like, are they practicing? But then I thought, well, no, I bet it's a lacrosse. They're having lacrosse or field hockey or something there. So
Well, they've got so much money up there, Joe. They've got their own lacrosse stadium now because that's where I
yeah.
was
Oh,
Wednesday.
that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that. They do.
Oh,
Hey, speaking of that, and I don't know if you follow it or not, and this is another story for another day, but the University of Kentucky has moved their department into a private institution athletically. They're
really?
going to be a corporation. Yeah. So the trend is coming. Gene Smith talked about that.
Yes, he did.
I can see this wave of these Power Five, these high major institutions from a department standpoint. They're going to start to form corporations
Because of
and
the
have a
NIL.
separate because of the collectives and because of what's happening. And so I can see that becoming a trend and what that will end up doing to college athletics long term.
Yeah, I wonder how many of those are going to be for profit because it's
They'll all become for profit, right? I mean, they're going to have to.
That will be their goal.
That's correct. That's correct. I mean, but then we talk. Look what it's going to do. It's going to trickle down. So what does it do to the MAC conference? What does it do to Division II and Division III?
Yeah.
What does it do to secondary-based educational athletics? What's it do for us?
Wow, it's crazy. Well, let's wrap up with boys volleyball, having a very respectable season and a busy week ahead. Travel to Northmont tonight. Host Middletown Tuesday. Travel up 75 for Lakota West on Wednesday. Travel to Fairfield on Thursday. So a busy week for Coach and the team, and I think they're up to the task.
Yeah. Coach Duckworth and her staff, they're up to the task. They had a rough week last week in terms of just a lot of matches, but like you said, that's what happens. You play a whole bunch in a row. They're going to get on a bus. They're going to head to Northmont tonight for a varsity only match. And everybody wants to talk about that bus ride and what have you, but it is. I mean, it's up there, and that's just part of it. But you got to, because you got to see what they're going to give you down the road.
Yep.
Tomorrow night we'll have senior night. Recognize our senior volleyball players, and that'll be a great match against Middletown. Get back into the league, and then we're going to try to finish strong this week. I believe at West and at Fairfield to kind of close out the week, and then Coach Duckworth does a really good job of this because, and we've talked about this before, and we don't have this issue as much as we have in the past where basketball players have AAU. And so she traditionally tries to stop play activities after Thursday. Every once in a while, we've got to do a Friday or a Saturday. But we've got prom in front of us, and the kids will be thinking about that like we've talked about. But it's a good time for her to get the kids into the weight room on Fridays. It's a good time for them to kind of rehab their body a little bit on Fridays. And then again, we're gearing up. I believe we've got 2 weeks left. I want to tell you that May the 11th, maybe Mother's Day is the regional draw. We're a host site for the regional draw, and then they'll just get ready for tournament.
Yep. Best gym in the land for volleyball. I know that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
There's no Plinko effect with your ceiling, and I mean, if you hit the ceiling at Princeton, you've really hit it.
You've really hit it. You got some major arm strength.
No doubt.
Shoulders.
Well, Coach, best of luck to all the Vikings this week. Hopefully, we get lots of games and matches in. And as always, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful week. And Joe, we'll talk base next month. Touch base next month.
Thanks, Rob. Good talking to you.
Have a good week.